Tavi tinglu shoes la ta karjeni geji na karjeni ta karjen donju ngona chik kande go yo mane tagi lapsa son tendi tama ta te le brshe pa si de kana ta matolo ta tsum ta travi ki chotera lekshe sere tavi tinglu sana kene chidangi lam thamche te la tawa tan ko bacho pa sa ju sene kene na thamche la yo re te nani tenen di ten karje de so tavi ki tenen kar tangi ngane tene shepa indu tene ta gijin nane chitangi kargerete kargete tawi ki tangdan den basa tawi tenglu situ kan ta tawa kare zogba chimbo tan dire sheshe re umi ki tawa te zogba chimbo tawa yin chase ki tawa te uma tawa tene to zogba chimbo tawa da alla da te indi kan la tawa ti ngane uma ta chachen dam zogchin ki tawa sun ki ngane tene kanse kargete para yegi yes la ke ndu kala ta di teng se de kala chhe thamche tawi ge teng da lembi goni gombi ge ngang cha gore gombi ge ngang ja na chebi ge la tor gore jamgo me ban buji kan so re sena chitra niru ton ton wi ni che tawar ju tawi chitra ta che ba tishin gom don chebi ge tawi ge ta ma je we na gombi ngang ja jo mare gombi ge ngang ja ge jang jang go ne de chebi ge ne na so la tor gore ten du ta wa de ge che shore dina aranzo dina la misson yore kansesa konjo jiten la dison re rikpa na shapsu demba slato rikpa segene kare taware shapsu demba sede gombare ti indu kan thamjing ngol tawan ro de ta chugi de yan tawi tang go ni ndogu indu tawi tang lu sene ne shows tilares.
So now I'll proceed swiftly with the explanation of the White Feast, following the this commentary, written commentary. The commentary is entitled a Song of Confidence in the View that thoroughly explains, that is a thorough explanation of the White Feast. So this is the title of the commentary. Of course, as I mentioned in the previous session, actually before engaging in the practice of the four feasts, then one should actually do quite a few other things, as I mentioned. But yeah, so anyway, coming now to the practice of the White Feast, we have this this commentary. So it focuses specifically on the White Feast. There are in fact 4 different feasts: White Feast, Mixed Feast, Red Feast, and Black Feast. So this is a commentary specifically on the White Feast. It says it is a thorough explanation, so a detailed and clear explanation of the meaning of the White Feast, entitled A Melodious Song of Confidence in the View. So when we mention the view, view is, whatever the practice or teaching may be, we can talk about view, meditation, conduct, and then the resultant fruition. All teachings and all levels of Buddhist teaching contain these 3 or 4 aspects: view, meditation, conduct, and the resultant fruition. But the view is what comes first. The view is what precedes them all. And in terms of the view, we can talk about the view of the Great Perfection, Mahasandhi. Also, we have the view of Mahamudra, the Great Seal, and Madhyamaka, the Middle Way. So here in the White Feast is explained from the perspective of the view of the Great Perfection, and also the view of Mahamudra and the view of Madhyamaka. As these are all mentioned in the liturgy for the White Feast. It says, anyway, we'll get there. So the White Feast is going to be explained. The title indicates that this White Feast is going to be explained from the perspective of the view, these 3 views. When it says confidence, what do we mean by confidence? Confidence means a certainty, personal confidence and certainty in the view. And as it's taught by Dudjom Troma in some of his teachings, and generally taught widely, that the view is what must come first. The view should precede meditation and conduct. For the view is actually what we are putting into practice when we train in meditation, likewise in conduct. So it said that first one needs to ascertain the view and develop confidence and certainty in the view. having developed that basic confidence in the view, you then train in familiarizing yourself with that through meditation. That's what we mean by meditation, training in familiarizing yourself with the confidence in the view. And likewise, that training, which is based on confidence in the view, is put into practice and perfected through conduct, one's corresponding conduct. So we can see that actually the most important thing is the view, because the view is the basis, what forms the basis and also what precedes the other aspects of the path, namely meditation and conduct. As it said in the sutra, recollection of the three precious jewels, it's said Buddha is described as being endowed with the feet, endowed with the legs of awareness. So this phrase, in this phrase, awareness refers to the view, and legs refers to meditation. So again, this shows that the view must precede meditation. That's all.
Yeah, that Namu Guru cortically is that the Enjavana Teso. Namu Guru cortically is na Tama Namula. Namos and Nachasal and Gurus and Lamare, Lama Toma Namula, Chansalos, Ladris.
The text then begins with a homage, Namo Guru Trodikaliye. So Namo means homage, Guru means guru, teacher.
Trodikali is not Toma.
Trodikali means
Cortis and a toad.
Okay. Trodi means wrathful, Kali means black. So this Trodikali means Trimanamo. And Ye means like two. So altogether this phrase means homage to the Guru Trodikali, the black wrathful lady.
Yeah, no Tamji Yundika, Jibajini, Tuji, two Kornde Sanction Chigduro, Namgun Chotter, Summer Dutz, that the Jamojana, Nima Gurju Nagari, that the Dontosiana, Nanji Batam, Jeditine, Trebadan Tawakine, Chetam Landon Jures, the Wangi, the Necropara, Troma Namugi, Nimji, Simjan, Chetam Tomba Yimba, cousin saying, Tony Hamago, Simjan, Injiki, the Mato Simjana, the Indicana, Ninjigi, Tujigi, Turgi, the Gitur, currently Sanction Chigdoro, Setine, Javin Troma Namugitine, Gomba the Candidasana, Corvas again, Yandomos, and Yandis and the Sandomos, and couldn't Yami get in a Tavi get them. The Gone, the Yogi the Suresana, Javin Troma Namores, the Nit Nantong Sonjuk, Redon Sonjuk, Tony Inji Sonju, Karilan degree. They did in a Troma Namugitaneta. Arranjana Ranshina, Nilu the Tiendu, Namgun Chotter Tumber Deus, Namba Kunda, Chotter, Namgun Choting the Tomba yesterday, Namgun Choting the Tomba yesterday, Tomba Party, now Tomba Changjans in Mayimba, Nantong Zonjuk, Tilla de Shaking Guyan Segre, Nantong Zonjuyan Segre, Degyal Segre, Chikuyan Segre, Kanlandaya, Tartuk Nilu, the Namgun Choting the Tomba Yendu. 다 초만 나무기 오디 되네 남군 조진 되네 나와다 동반이 일밋 송축이 좋아되라 대라 된 초마랑 두세 두긴데 수르세나 간이 쳐버려 봐래 되네 경군 대결을 붙이게 된 두요송레스.
We then have a verse of homage. This verse of homage, actually just this verse alone, if we were to go into a detailed explanation of it, we'd be here all day. There's so much that could be said about these profound words of homage, but just to sum up the general meaning as a whole, the homage here is saying that is paying homage to the black wrathful lady Trimanamo, saying the space of the Great Mother, all phenomena are the space of the Great Mother, all appearances are the space of the Great Mother. Existence in all its multiplicity is the illusory emanation of awakened compassion. You revel in these. You revel in the indivisible great secret. You revel in the great secret, the indivisibility of samsara and nirvana. To you, who are emptiness endowed with the supreme of all aspects, supreme of all features, I pay homage. So here when it mentions appearances and then existence, this is describing how everything that appears and everything that exists, all possible appearances and experiences, are by nature beyond constructs, free of complexity. They are in fact a natural unity of appearance and emptiness. So appearance and emptiness are a natural unity. The Black Wrathful Lady, Troma, her nature is that of awakened compassion. Awakened compassion to all sentient beings who have yet to realize this basic nature, this natural unity of appearance and emptiness, and so remain wandering aimlessly throughout cyclic existence. So what is actually the real nature or real awakened state of Troma? It is the realization of the natural evenness, equality of samsara and nirvana, not perceiving samsara as something flawed in comparison to a nirvana, which is something better, but rather understanding that actually in essence samsara and nirvana are no different. They are equal, and they're equal and even. So that's why it says you revel in this great secret, the indivisibility of samsara and nirvana. So you are the treasure of emptiness endowed with all supreme features. This is referring to the natural unity of appearance and emptiness. We could describe this as the unity of intrinsic awareness and emptiness, the natural union of compassion and emptiness. We can describe it in any of these ways, but essentially this is referring to the true nature, Troma's, Black Wrathful Lady's true nature. And when it says here emptiness, this phrase, emptiness endowed with the supreme of all aspects, this means that we're not talking here about a blank emptiness, a kind of void, a void or blank state that is merely empty, but actually an emptiness that is the unity of appearance, that is a natural unity. And again, we can describe this as the unity of appearance and emptiness, intrinsic awareness and emptiness, and so on. We can also describe this basic nature basic state as Buddha nature, Sukatagarbha, the Dhammakaya, beyond constructs, free of complexity. This is the essence of Troma, the essence of the Black Wrathful Lady.
Yeah, Talam Dirduki Jensen, Dirs, Luki Jensen, Tang, Pungo, Sentukur, the Kangichip, Mignet Telvigi, Bala Sata, Luki Jensen, the Tang, the Rangi Ludi Shatate, Kanjiki Soldotine, Gishitan, you get Mikwa the Sungins, Tisores. Then the text continues. So here I will explain the different points of visualization for performing the white feast, wherein one gives one's aggregates, the physical aggregates of one's body, to which one that one cherishes as the self. Yeah, the Tilatine, Jesum, some Jervatan Haki Battery. I'm Jerval Haki about Tangon and Dimanari Dudjom Tangon Haki Mogosher, one Nana Haki Mogosher, something you cannot Tita, Yan Shago Mendukine, Manari Dudjapis. Tinanga Rangin to get down Jatan, Wopung Tiglit and Tichin, some Jimmy Chapter Tipi Londo, Fermatan, Ninda Pamru, Denla. Tusum Sanji, Kundugi, or Sume Tuji Trenzepa, Palvan Lama, Rinpoche, Imbala, Namba Magic Troma, Namo, Kuntok Tina, Shaltik Changi, eat to cook my ear, Tota, Topa, Shell dancing child, whatever she is, she no matter to take Marathon Mima, the membership, Jensen, Namki, in La Silva, Chu, Napashan. Napoken to Vigate, Tonsum your Chepa, Ralva, Marcel, Marcel, Tipi zero case and Hami could you keep by Shamin Cartabu, Georgian Carton Gat, Kula Temba, Naman Borching, Bemo, Geba, Kula, Repeat Gentuta, Tutuki, Chegi, Zoba, Ishiki, Mepon, Barbie, Londo, Geto, to Uzu to Dojin Nanjima, Marmo, Tankundu, Zambotena. so to ju gi jusum rinzin la mi so thamje sa da be kordo rinzin rigji khandro dang leje ma je da chawtong ma je so bomtra yang wi ge khandro mi ge so pa do me ba korwa de ichro to ye dang le le te be ka song dang chogyong tung cho ge korwa de je do choju shin mo ta me ba ne nam ke karchep tu kya wil jin so shin pa zo ge so nang ro do shin ne du chik ge dang dang du ni ge san ji kiran kuro tu bi ha so ge som bu je le de ba shu ye pro me la de yin du do rang jen sem jen tham je rang jen sem jen tham je gi 이 키시기 대바다 뭐 구이기 르메 초순 림보체다 로 링기 간네 투규 거진 캡순 저라 펫 이시가다 세타크런 이시가다 레송 테티인데 간타 간스거스나 개윌슨 살타바레스 개윌슨 토마나 모랑 살타나 총코쪽게 되죠 차파 살타 뷰티르스 땅은 저와 저를 가서 뭐 잡사리 얘기는 게인데가 조명원도 값을 시사래 다 가서 얘기니 교진의 값을 다시 하다 차가 넘버 먹고 가서 시사래 데 딘나신 진고랑 저위를 많이 봐 넘버 소코쪽게 되어 빠지는 공포티 잠도 레스탄다 감기게 당고 잠도 되고 이거 잠도 소신레스.
So what follows now is a description of the visualization of the field of accumulation, the refuge tree, to be visualized when you take refuge, which is the first part of liturgy that is chanted, first thing that's done in the practice. So I'm not going to elaborate on this. I'm just going to read through the explanation given in the commentary, because it's clear enough itself, and moreover I gave quite a lot of explanation of this exact same visualization yesterday when explaining the empowerment, because in the empowerment when we took refuge, actually we had to visualize exactly the same thing, and we went through that in quite a bit of detail. So now I'm just going to read quite swiftly through the explanation given here. Within the explanation of the White Feast as a whole, there is the preliminary section, main section, and concluding section. So first of all, the preliminary section, this concerns the visualization of the deities. So the visualization of which follows. In front of oneself, in space in front of oneself, you visualize Trimanamo, the black wrathful lady. She is seated amidst a vast expanse of rainbows, lights, light spheres of lights, bindus, and drops. So amidst this vast expanse of light rays and so on is a seat, her seat, which is a lotus, on top of which is a...
This is very
okay, so Rinpoche says no need to, I was thinking to translate what Rinpoche says, no need to repeat this. Basically, it's what Rinpoche just read through is exactly the same as what we described yesterday. So basically, for refuge, you visualize exactly what was explained yesterday. Okay, so just visualize Troma Namo in front of you, surrounded by the 18 retinue deities. In essence, she is no different from your own root guru. In front of her are you and all sentient beings, and you're taking refuge in her from now until awakening. That's what you visualize. And the liturgy for going for refuge is on page 11 of our text. Going for refuge, pay it to Samanta Badri, the primordial ground of original purity, and so on, down to the fourth line. I go for refuge to actualize the consummate expanse of your wisdom mind. So these 4 lines we're going for refuge, essential refuge in the empty essence, luminous nature, and manifold capacity. Yes.
Round Yamon Bitima Mango Brakawa, Taniki, Bigne La, Changing Yawa, Mebri Gumiki, Lamdo Kawa, Parudo Chimba Tula Labracha, Malongo, Tuda Tempracha, Tenet also big top temperature Mandelboro La Tonsum, Maya Hatire. Here you can di Gemati, Semkide, Pet, Rukun Sipi, so the Dorocha, Kamni Tambicho, and Gonsu, Dagi Chanchu, Semki, Lavlam, Korwa Tonju, Korwa Tonju. Nibi Paltum shows and this same case, and this same get a Congress adventure, Sergeant Tamjit, Tinekara, comes from Korwa letter of chickens, the Indicanata, Conjo Sum, Sang Troma Namo, the Zurich Vilama Tam Condro, that the Gabro the Chin and Sansojan Moshe, the into Tamjit and Alasero Nance, then a Dagi Chanchu Saint Lablanes and Anita Chanchu Senata. Mumba Chanchu is a big love Jashi, Juba Chanchu is a correlation but Juba Ji, took, or yet in a theatre we love sending it at Materials on around doing it around to Ijiglo Tamjisha, the same gen Tamjik to Jachu Duki, yes, we get that detention.
So, what follows is generating bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment. So, for this, we chant the next verse in the liturgy. Here, I promise to liberate all beings from the ocean of existence. May all sacred objects of refuge bear witness. Through my training to cultivate bodhicitta, may the glorious potential to empty the depths of samsara be attained. So, as we arouse bodhicitta here, essentially we are making the resolve to liberate all sentient beings from samsara, from psychic existence. So, to do this, we call upon the three jewels, and specifically upon Truma Nama, and on the three roots of the Guru, Yidam and Dakini. Yeah, we could explain all of this again in like outer, inner and secret levels, but yes, we won't go into all of these details. Essentially, we're calling upon them and saying, please pay heed to me, look upon me. In your presence, I pledge to arouse bodhicitta and maintain aspiration bodhicitta, which involves the 4 precepts, 4 commitments of aspiration bodhicitta, and also apply myself to application bodhicitta, which involves the practice of the 6 paramitas. So from today onwards, I arouse bodhicitta in this way, and I will leave all of my self-interest and self-concern aside and work solely for the benefit of other beings. Thus.
Tindu Kantan Dinima, Jessan, Dinima, and Java from Matsikon, she will name into Congressman Mandran Dens, Tene, and Latin Bataman Progress, Mandi, Corona, I short to have to take the Midima Dression. Tatambo, Tene, and Jiretus, Conses, Mandran Redus, Mandran, Pet, Tomson, Jonko Bashi, Lukoba, Zonan, Rana, Hukobasan, the Songi Jose, Garavana Boros, Mandran Chi, Mandran Tomson Jitin, Nagi Mandran Tinekara. Rangi Lu Tinekara para Punkam Keche, Sangi Mandal Rana Ripa Mandal to Kaba Sundi, Songi Zobarchi, Ranchibu Mayamba, Ranchin Samjintam, Songi Zobarchi, Chetu, Gavana Polosity Mandal race.
Then we come to the offering of the mandala. I won't explain in detail go through in detail the explanation of these given in the commentary on these parts, because it's a short explanation and basically just repeating the liturgy. So what comes next after bodhicitta is offering the mandala. To offer the mandala, we say, we read the verse beginning, the outer mandala is the external arrangement of the all-pervasive trichiliocosm, down to, in order to amass the accumulation of 2 levels of merit. These offerings are made to the victorious one. So here we're presenting the outer, inner and secret mandala offerings. The outer mandala offering of the 3,000-fold universe, the all-pervasive trichiliocosm. Then the inner mandala offering of one's own physical body, one's aggregates, elements and sense bases. That's the what makes up the inner mandala offering. And we also present the secret mandala offering, namely spontaneously present appearances, the spontaneously present appearances of intrinsic awareness. So these outer, inner and secret mandalas we offer, as it says in the last line, in order to amass the accumulation of the 2 levels of merit, to perfect the accumulations of merit and wisdom, not just for ourselves, but for all sentient beings. Yes.
Chanson. Tai la dumbares in the Tangi man. Kusum Gavan on a chance of Nargil in Bochasa, stop it up the Ushi.
So now we come to the 7 branches. Hey, I prostrate to the 3 colors of the victorious ones. So with this line we have the first of the 7 branches, paying homage, which is an antidote to pride.
When a chance of giving me Jachin Bushe, Tati Shenon, this Luta Majitam Shabab, Senda Gini Boshabapanaris.
Actually, there's if you go into it in detail, there's a very detailed visualization and so on to be explained regarding paying homage here, but I'm just going to explain this in brief, we don't have much time. So, second, I offer all of my bodies in abundance. This is the branch of offering, which is the remedy to stinginess.
Gosumi with the sort of Shas, Galkin Ditisaba, Shaparis, Tosha Seged, Shapa Seged, around so the Chachugula, Toprajavala, Galkin, and the members of Javala, Luna Isugi did from the Shapas.
Then we have the branch of confession, all accumulated negativities and obscurations of my 3 doors of body, speech and mind are confessed. So the negativities and obscurations of body, speech and mind are adverse conditions. They hinder our progress on the path to awakening. So these adverse conditions of the negativities and obscurations of body, speech and mind, we openly confess. Then all holy positive virtuous accumulations are cause for rejoicing. So we practice the branch of rejoicing, which is the remedy for jealousy. Then I request the Dharma wheel to be turned in whatever way is necessary. So we request the Dharma wheel to be turned as a remedy for ignorance. Then saying, I beseech the victorious ones not to pass beyond sorrow, we request the victorious ones, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, not to pass into nirvana, not to pass away but to remain. This is necessary, their presence is necessary for the sake of the Buddha Dharma, the doctrine, and also for sentient beings. So that's why we make this request. I fully dedicate the root of this virtue to all sentient beings, so we dedicate all roots of virtue to enlightenment in order to make them increase further and further. May everyone without exception attain a state of enlightenment simultaneously. So this is the aspiration. All offerings can be contained, are complete and contained within the 7 branches. All offerings, whether they be on the sutra level or tantric level. In the Guhyagarbha Tantras, offerings, the topic of offerings is explained in extraordinary amount of detail, going into the various outer offerings, inner offerings, secret offerings, suchness offerings, and so on. But we cannot go into all of that detail here. But needless to say, all of those offerings are actually contained and complete within the offering of the 7 branches. Oh yeah, that then lamina just lamina just pet around the 20 women. Good night, share of Lamaje. Dundam Michel or Tiliku, Midronda, the Bizo to Shaka, Lama 70, Sangi Tumjigi, Jitu de Lamare, the Dusum Gava Tamjigi, Jukuntia, Lamare, Mutukizawa, Lamare, Chilabizawaya, Lamare, purchased with Zawaya, Sasum Kundu Daniere, Lama Mebala Sangi on the Biomare, Sangi Tamjigi, Jukunia, Lama into that Lama, Sangi Lama, Tejin Lama Gindin Kungi. Chebolano Lama Passion Heruka as a Longa Degyal Tamjana, Lama de Zachere is a song yours, the tea Lamic and Nangeres, Lamina to the Chakures. Now, then we come after the 7 branches, we come to Guru Yoga, for which we read, hey, in the perfectly pure, genuine Akanish, there are self appearances and so on. Down to the 4th line, this Kaya of Bindu light arises as a treasury of sacred ripening empowerment and liberating instructions. So the Guru is the crown of all Buddhas, the crown ornament of all Buddhas, the source of all Buddhas as well. The source and origin of all enlightened beings is the Guru. The Guru is the source of all attainments, all siddhis, the source of all blessings, the source also of enlightened activities that dispel the obstacles and so on. So without a Guru, it's not possible for an awakened being, a Buddha, to appear. So in that way, the Guru is the source and origin of all Buddhas. This being so, as it says in all of the tantras, all of the countless tantras, that how the Buddha is the source of all Buddhas and of utmost importance. It said the Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dhamma, the Guru is also the Sangha. The Guru is the doer of all, the great glorious Guru.
Kanta ulama segendi minjiki wangdang chulchiki daba thamjiki jungkungam ya digin zoti lama resinde minjul wangdang dambi zotu sharres la res. Last.
So it says the treasury of sacred ripening empowerments and liberating instructions. The Guru is the source, or the treasury of all of these sacred empowerments that ripen and the instructions that liberate our stream of being. So here we need to, of course, visualize the Guru as being in essence none other than our personal Guru, but in terms of appearance, we visualize the Guru as Trimanama.
Pet Soan de so Kushi Dani Palas, Timidon Shooter to be called Mari Conjure to be similar. Yeshikata wants in Comparol, said Alama and Twig and Mitcheva. I attend Lama Sorata Kushi, Chukulungu to Mungo Kushi, and date in a paladin, cut some six of my but Nikum Sorata with Damni, take send Tomama Dada Parto Tricky, the Mari dancing over shoulder, teeth in a Gomana Yazuna, think she'll turn tomorrow. Maripiki Gonja, Sunzinki Gonja, and a tralne, Ishikadak Sanandratini, Ripango, Ripachu lesson, Maripi Gonja, Timuta Mariga Shashi, Shadanka, Ja, Teletaldo, and Petro, teaching Loshi, Secretary, one Shilong Watanta, the sort of this.
What we come to next is supplication, so that's the visualization of the Guru, and then we come to supplication and also receiving the four empowerments. From the Guru. So for this we read, "Hey, I supplicate you, glorious embodiment of the four kayas of Namanakaya, Sambhogakaya, Dhammakaya, and the essential kaya." So the Guru is the embodiment of all of these four kayas. By invoking your wisdom mind through intense faith and devotion, by supplicating you like this, may all concepts based on mind and mental events, conceptual mind and conceptual mental events, which are shrouded in the shell of ignorance, be released. Because up until now, from beginningless time up until now, we have been bound, shackled within samsara, because of our ignorance, basic ignorance, and grasping to the self. So we've been bound in this blinding shell or cocoon of ignorance. So here we're supplicating that we may be released from this cocoon of ignorance, this shell of ignorance, by realizing the ground of original purity, wisdom mind, which is the wisdom mind of primordial purity, and thus be released from this shell of ignorance and released from the snare of the three poisons: attachment, aversion, and ignorance. So for this we say, may we be released from this cocoon, from this shell of ignorance, to delight within the great expanse of wisdom mind, the ground of original purity. And then we say, pe, pe, pe. So with these lines we're making a supplication and also receiving the four empowerments.
Randu Nimon Betimi, Mange Bakawa, Tang Linki, Minela Twenty, Yawa Mekumi, Lam to Kerber, Paro to Chimba, Truth and Temperjawa. The next of Sabigi, Tap Kebret and Mandelboa, Tonsum, Tin Chingit, Ta Sumbruko, Nanti Chi, mandra ranglu phungkam ki chomburu kabani ranglu nangi mandra kunshi khamla poso rang sirtorwa chomburu kabani yeso soli ke mandra te sigdun sing phulukne chenzin ne linki lodangte sosing lama kusumgi jindon bolo de ne chilabgi jugu mugu lami nadur gitu kangong sorwa furzuk so dabshin pet gi jadang jane kuyi de wangshi top dipsi ta ta de kuyi member sabike nelu getala nyambran jabo de ne nedang dopa so parchekun le namur gelsin nurku chungi topic ngondu girde chen dingi la dumi shela ngomra chanchu gobaya to tandi yanju ji tandi ya ta mushi karjin gor lepso ta chiri ngondu gi chamde tangbo ta tang ni deni ni pa mushi la za ge tang se jampel tang chuldo ro wa tang durim de ji yo ba ta ji yo tangbo deni za ge se ta za ge ba tangbo la za ge la sa Dudjom Troma ke paas ta chokron le Dudjom nindire mal den tonda dotor la shari Dudjom shirab ki ta ni dirbi ke tulchu ke chapala pe se tangbo ni na pasa ke gyulu ngoso ni pa na za ke sumba ri pa english ne net dun tang dembi net dun tang dembi nganto net dun tang dembi nganto peta sum ngarjin pasha so jepike mikpani sa gangshik thoma mipiki du ne shi marik pa datu tabi ke ngarjin gi shepandi ke kamla ninang pasha ke phungbo gyumi gi lundingi du namdo yang gyunche mebra na wa yembe wana tati gi phungbo dela 대다 탐지 직접도 조신 원부 뒤히기 해신 제바 초신 논바 자신 대바 동숨 직든 남기圈라 역바시도 게네 대유수 자 아와 두디 강동도 실기가와 죽바도 단육 정보 점야나 시우로 세자통게 카세로 소바 만나তেওঁ 니르부 셰루 뉴스 그거더라 니비기 닝가라 우속기 우측기 저비기 땡도 남시 라체 소남기 당위 이시기 리비기 오 참마서기 공아 더블 틀리 칸토 응아당 덴바시 살데 계지기 빠친기 다방와더라 땡기 남거 톤데 중인 두미게 인 가다 저버저비기 시로 표정 니미도 제를 shuni nyumi ge shela jamle pran joko state dandi kansongre se panjo pe segente dandi javanala duji pai ge tene kalapara deda kansa da tabi ge ta turje sherbi ge ta se tene pe sela de kanla sunsingi sume tabi dandes.
So now we've covered the explanation of the preliminary practice. And now we come to the main part, the main section, which is the explanation of the White Feast itself. Regarding the explanation of the White Feast, this has three sections. First of all, visualizing the subtle channels, then purifying and increasing, and so on. So, regarding the first of these sections, visualizing the channels, the commentary explains that the syllable pe is comprised of two. The word pe is comprised of two syllables, pa and tra. So the first syllable pa is the skillful means that gathers in, and the second syllable tra is insight or wisdom that scatters. So the yogic discipline that brings these two together, the skillful means of gathering and the insight of scattering and dispersing, as an expression of this, we have the word pe at the opening of the White Feast.
Do you know the ticket? The mother person. person sayo den dewa sum gyapto pe sege pe sum gyapto pe tangbo tene nganzen basal gyulu phungbo di se ngarang so injin gi lu di tene ngarang so ta khorwa chong me bane dangjin sege khurbi chaware dagdun jin bi jidi kana sa ngarang so phungbo de phungbo ngala nga je de ngai jo ngi keme ngi putu ngi pama ngi sa ja ta nganjin gi 진짜데 때 방법되게 남자 벌써 윤리 풍부 등을 거래스 직 팬이바데 담미시르 드미시르 그슬라베 된주가 난진 바자 TV 윤리 풍부서 그때 충중 많이 최고지게 왔다데 류디 정원 중서 리가 오르랍나 진짜 때려 첨부지라는 게 류디 되는 첨부 야 된적이 되는 것더라 제고 약보 num보 된지게 개월 되네 당보라고 이게 대패니바 되게 당미시릭 드미시르 표세 당미시릭 장외서 와 나랑 쪽을 수분 하나 짜 오마서 줘요 짜 오마디 되네 야라 되네 그 아바 두디세 딜라 되네 아바 두디야 세요레 데 주간라 데데그 아야 이바드네 먹어오는 때와 오는 것 같은지 되네 야 성분을 타기 여기 성분을 벌도 카페 되는지 리파틴데지고 다 딜라야 타니라 되네 로마다 캬말라 소비자 요레 다데 자라 자이 출고 콜로시나 빼망고 시기요레 지우 대신 듬방원저 자 되네 산도르리게 콜로디 이게 입디 칸도디 제레 다 망고 시기요 데인디 간 같은 저 셰모고시네 다 당고 자 우마데 넘버 시원 조사디 되네 대화는 뭐 지금 말아 뇽마 같이 봐나 진짜 된 대화는 야라니 지우 버도 야라 는 다뉴 차와서 다 페제 디게지기 되네 야라 넘버 지와 조사 요요세 되네 상야 카페다 디 되네 페니와 되게 강세스나 난디레 니빠 짜이게 봐서 랑게 자 우마디게 교래 당미시리 드미시로 교여서 아야 춘이 인리 이시 준출카르서 어다 데인데 되네 데라 숨바다 릭바 잉라 파네 되네 랑게 넘버 시와 우지티글리 데와나 요래 데비게 데 칸사 tö드레 요래 되네 데마토도 페 세데 페지가도 넘버 시와 가라소 이기 우 데마토도 장세 여기 야 거라나 다자게나 시 멘다게 거라 불쇼게나 시 탁스 야 토네 지우니야 전도 데인디칸라 춘이 인리 이시 준출카르 준출레 세데네 페 숨바티 칸레서 바죠 말아서 되네 리파 잉글리시 바스나 리파 되네 마치 초만은 코스 당게 되게 이제 패스ум기 당부니와 숨바되게 패 나는 바서 글루 풍부티 스랑기 류 어야 짜이기 되네 개파데제 담미시리 드미시리 퍼스나 되카라 담미시리 드미시리 나는 바서 글루 풍부티 담미시리 드미시리 춘이인데 이시 윤출 레스라 따다 인디카나타 페 당부되게 귤링에서 페 니바되게 자이게랑게 자 오마되면서 페 순바되게 리바추기 인서 버고 인디카나 페 무슨 요레스 인디칸디 페 순거 페 찍는 아이나 쥐치나 페 순면서
무슨 당내 쉐릭 당마스나 당내 쉐릭
당마스나 리파
당마스나 디
아디 당마스데 나라서 숨진기 닉 마임바 이시기 당마 셰비게 당마스나 시바 춘이서 야 다른 저거 맞은 살서 말
So so that is the meaning of the syllable pe, the word pe. In our liturgy here, so we're now on page 15, right, of our text, the opening of the White Feast. It opens just with one syllable pe here, but actually there should be three. I'm pretty sure there should be three pe's here, pe. And I'm pretty sure that in the main severance instruction, it does mention three pe's, this part, opening of the White Feast. And that matches also the explanation given here in Degyal Rinpoche's commentary. He explains that the first of these three pe's, with the first of these three pe's, we identify the illusory body of the habits of dualistic appearance. So from beginning this time up in samsara up until now, we have been sort of bound in samsara because of our ignorant, mistaken grasping to a self. Because of our mistaken grasping to a self, because of our we have this mistaken grasping to a self which keeps us shackled in samsara, and the main sort of object of this self-grasping is our physical body, right? That's what we identify with as ourself, and that is the object that we have more attachment to than anything else. So thereby, with the first pay, then we recognize and identify this illusory body of the mistaken this mistaken habit of dualistic appearances, and this corresponds to the first line in the liturgy: from this illusory aggregate body resulting from habitual clinging to self. Then we have the second pay, and with the second pay we visualize the subtle channels. This corresponds to the second line in the liturgy: bright awareness is projected into the original ground. When we say pay for the second time, we visualize the central channel, the Avaduti channel. Of course, also, if we were to go into this visualization in detail, we'd talk about the Roma and Kyama on the channels on the right and left, and also the various chakras on the different parts of the body, the way they look, their color, and all the other details of them. But we will not go into such details. Here, most important is just to visualize the central channel, the Avaduti. So a subtle channel in the center of your body, running from your secret place all the way up to the Brahma of aperture, the crown of your head. This channel is like a small narrow bamboo shoot about the width of our little finger, and it's slightly closed at the bottom, at the secret place, and it runs all the way up through the center of your body up to your crown, where it opens up a bit, almost like a skylight.
Niwategi Nangitsa, Tine Avaduting, Sumbigi Petit, number Shevati, Dumishirik Setana, Dumishirik, Trumigum or Tisum, Signina, Nita Gitan Jazaki, and the comment, and not.
So, now one correction, sorry, I just said that this second pay. So at the opening of the liturgy, basically we say pay 3 times, and what's being explained now is the meaning of these different pays and what to visualize with each of them. So I just said that the second pay corresponds also to the second line of liturgy, but sorry, that's a mistake. Actually, as a whole, the meaning of these 3 pays, which is not yet completely explained, the meaning of the 3 pays and the visualization corresponding to those is contained in the first 2 lines of liturgy, but it's forget that the second pay does not correspond to the second line of liturgy. Sorry, that was a mistake. So with the first pay, we identify the illusory body, that is a result of mistaken habitual tendencies, dualistic tendencies. With the second pay, we visualize the Avaduti, the central channel, as described. And with the third pay, then awareness manifests. Awareness manifests and takes form, so to speak. So as it says, bright awareness is projected into the original ground. So with the third pay, we visualize that at the navel is our intrinsic awareness in the form of a bindu, or sphere of light. And as we say pay this third time, this bindu of light that is our intrinsic awareness, it is shot up through the central channel, up and out through the crown of our head, just like an arrow being released from a bow, or like a bullet being shot. So this light bindu flies up from our navel, up through the crown of our head, and manifests in the form of Troma, the Black Wrathful Lady. So this is what's meant when it says bright awareness, bright, untainted, lucid awareness is projected into the original ground.
It's not bright.
Yeah. So bright really means like not bright like a light, but
it's like the essence, the Dhamma, the essence.
The untainted, lucid awareness. It's about the clarity of awareness, not actually like light.
Yeah,
physical light itself.
subject trona. Dila gansa karnge dila dene zaikepa. Mushila zaikepa. Dene jangshin pelwa. Dene tulto rolwa. Dene dream subject shisha to stare ji. Ta tango zaikepa pisares. Ta jampel sigalaki kutile tus.
So to go back to the basic the outline of this explanation of the White Feast, which I mentioned a moment ago, this outline has the explanation of this White Feast has 4 sections. First of all, a visualization of the channels, and that visualization of the channel is what I just explained. So we've now covered the first of these 4 parts of the explanation of the White Feast. So we've described the first, visualizing the channel. The second section to come is purifying and multiplying. Third is reveling in the emanation, reveling in magical emanations, and fourth is the dissolution stage.
Okay.
So now we've covered the first, and now we come to the second.
Yeah. Then Ketiketa Arkamati after teaching.
Everyone, keep all questions till the end, please. Otherwise, we won't get through it.
Then you but Jambel Lasa Kechig ripping or color lock you but Chule Churdova, Chungit Sema, Citilgi, English, Guntilgi number, Sukur Dancing Lande, Daket Rani Ishi. Ingi doji nandu kunto karmo kangi rela nyul popata ura chensum ingsu sakpa shinsum nyamdang tenpa rubi gentuk sarwa sheki de degi cha yepike namja le chupika rati ninang phasa chusu gyulu ki pongpo ngorotara gerwa tela tsetsamki silburu tupshin tarwa le teyang dultang duchentu papi Chayunpe Ishiki Lungi Patin Karbo Yoshin Yope Ludang Pungduki Ranshin Le Tupeke Shatak Angsil Ripa Chugu Nandro Danchepa Tamje Jikden Namta Karchipki Chosam Tenwo Kundu Terbe Chin Jungwa Sachu Melung Nampi Ranshin Tipa Ngunangi Guludan Partur Doyungi Namba Naviki Yurni Naso Chulangi Guludan Nang Gondu Shebeke Shatak Rubiki Pongbo Sarche Nyelinki Gulu Yimbeke Tesum Irme Chiktu Nyamper Dalwa Le Larian Ranshin Guntul Number Tapike Chuniki Yigne Gyawa Tamjiki Kusung Tuki Saponle Wostre Kar Mar Tingsumki Charbobe Nasame Ishiki Nujurki Tela Babe Mata Ninangi Timatamje Tombrajang de Chunit Mizipi Tershimbo Namka Zutu Pelne Kato Tang Tiro Nujut Konsum Sobike Dangi Jentun Giro Tayang Yakuni Ngun To Shenwang Ngun To Shenchul Wangchit Tam Faiki Luku Palyun Ki Koba Tamjala Koba Tamjil Manji Susur Chulwa Shindu Salti Chi Nawa Nuki Jikden Tamje Tapalai Ingdang Nang Chupa Chuki Semjen Tamje Gati Rochulwe Lenki Nyamki Ranshin Tang Partur Do Yunayiki Yunangli Chupi Chu Tamje Ingli Chuntin Karbo Tikbiki Sami Kyun Kun Kepchin Kepa Tarakaran Ketiki Ranshin Chupi Jinso Gyatsu Samgi Mikapra Juki Milangba Rabli Pantawa Gyatsu Le Tingsaba Shindul Le Changma Vati Lotin Le Luntuba Ninda We Wosarwa Namka Le Kyonyawa Kuryu Le Gyachi Hugi Dangi Do Chulching Gyula Ngoni Tetong Saba Mibi Ranshin Kangi Tongwa Zamgi Ngomba Tang Rekba Zamgi Tsimba Tong Nyawa Zamgi Trolbra Chipiki Duzi Namba Ni Kar Dukar Dukar Sekar Tang Sa Yinku So 거rsum ki rik je masang me be chumik dang cho dang zingbo danga chungok sok ru dang sa lungpa dang tangji nam dang New Tong Dang So Samji Mekebige Yunangi Gaje Gatun Trova Dang Shenyang Kara Dang Puram Dang Dangzi Laksaba Ngarsumki Rik Tamchele Tangri Dang Bagam Dang Yama Dang Gangsham Kesham Dang Wob Dang Shazi Sok Tumang Samji Mekebe Kundu Girbe Gasal Pelva Dang Te Shindu Arura Dang Parura Dang Kirula Menso Tamchiki Rangshingi Nasal Dang Juanshin Dang Kesal Dang Bangjun Sok Duki Padun Pabdur Mebeki Chotin Gi Pungbo Minchit Jigdingi Kamkundu Yoshin Gepa Le Choksam Kunni Wozirki Ngelang Padu Mepa Cho Chimbu Mugba Dawa Am Yansula Langba Chepa Am Namki Longto Timpung Tepa Shinto Chungi Namka Zoji Ge Palgan Yishi Yundin Punsum Sopi Gatun Lana Mepa Choju Sanji Ge Shing Sa Ing Gyanso Kundu Tikchin Trewa Le Tetar Nujid Doyun Tamje Nujid Doyun Tamje Dulji Sem Chen Namki Wangpo Tuki Yu Ing Su Mashik Wiki Pardo Am Chiti Korwa Matong Ke Pardo Tingin Zengi Ge Chopi Ge Tin Gyansu Rapto Gyurde Teti Tu Gyurmi Chopi Ge Chunyi Ge Chopa Misepa Gengin Kolu Dangi Tu Pershin Gepa O Tene Kongi Miki Oma Hongi Se Lensum Chopi Tar Dati Chem Kang Ling Je Pe Tangbu Koncho Se Nipi Gombo Yunde Su Ritu Ningji Duna Girik Lencha Ge Duna Kuljing Te Nipi Ingsu Che Sumba Wup Dirki Dujinge Kopi Ge Namka Parnang Sashi Tamji Turbi Kyulki Patara Chin Tipki Kante Se Penchun Pamgyal Tang Sopa Mebi Ge Shiva Changshubki Sem Topne Gayali Zumule Nam Lapra Samo Yatati Da Tanti Tine Kongin Treva, Tanti Treva, the Dudjom Hindi Tol Jagres, the Majan Charsa Maris.
So, what Rinpoche just read through the explanation of this next section, the second section on purifying and multiplying. Rinpoche will not explain word by word the commentary, but rather summarize it. Use the liturgy and kind of apply the meaning of the explanation, if that makes sense.
Ta jangpel bolle so jangpel ta jangi peri kana sa rangi dorje namjur karmo ye sa rangi tine karan namjur matene thoma namo karmo yar ke ne chaye relti suki pongbo to sa tine rang suki chambo pemmegen rina kingi chambo tine zeo punsun chopo yabo tene te indi kana ta numna tine tishimbo se na ro yabo oya te tene punsun chopi ge rashin je yar ke ne te kan rangi doje namjur karmo ye sa chaye relti suki pongbo ta number shewati magic thoma namo tine kar karmo yar so ta lui di mar gel dio sa ta pemmegi chambo tene kar par punchum sopo tene pe su zeo ta no punchum sopo sa ta ha bo mo del desu te indi kan rangi doje namjur karmo ye chaye relti suki pongbo top sa de chap de hobi go relti rang su de tumbu khar japchak tongso chichak mangboji tene marji to bondi kan ngaran so dulchen chame ge pardo to ne ta dangsa kerang se shege na pe gar sudul chawa odul chawa kaanse ya te ti pardo mar ba torne te de kan tene chaye rade su gi pongbo to dulpop yembe lungi patini yap se tene dul thamje dulchen de mar phapne tamje dul se mig thongji dul mar shen do ne kra par chawa nitun na shin nitun de chawa dan kan face na shin tinje gi dul ma to ne tinjo tamje dul re la ina te na su zewo na num na tishin bo te ne ngen na roja bo tan do nan de bi de nga tan sa li ga ran shin je da sa ne tene yembe lungi tene paten kyap sa lungi paten tian pen ru na shin che bo ga lungi yap sa ta ba de ti gi yaw de ka tene chok ba lungu che bo gyam na tene de ro ba 탐이긴 난 전불링 먹고 똥숨기 똥침 분직된 탐제가 발 참네 Shata Riba Chosam Kunduta, Shata Chata Riba Tangje, the number Shata Chata Riba Yinaya, don't do things in Chingi Labing, things in the Nata, things in Chaji Chingi Laba into some give me keep it in Puntum of the garage in the journey, and then short you shall roll noob jam, G, then some G, then all need, then short to Kundu, then a tourney. Chijun no yield on Yambra, Dulles a chi was a Sachu melon, Namkat and Karakata. Sachu melon namka karkib kala rangi ki dulkin tene shatan chapa ya tzo tamji te chapsum samba chene tene ta chebra samse wasir karma thingsum ki pape se ta tia tene krapa tamji ud karuta ud maruta servu kasa karuta mabo thinga mombusum babe chinjur lai ki kopa chulchin to ta dobu yunde nga mizibi tandi shenchul wangje san haigi na ta kisho yaksho rangi chisan nanjul to gendele shenchul wangje sare ade shengi shenchul wangje sare shengi to wala rangi wangje shenchul haigi kopa chulchin ta hayul tamje tandi kopa de shena pemo bo shegore ti indu kam dona hayul da hallewi ki kepo de na shingi tne gene nandin doyen karchetin do gyurusla de na shingi sheba tne kan shenchul wangje ki kopa da ya de na shingi tne nandin doyen sa nangji cheba tamje dobyun de ngai ge te zo tamje yang shatan chasne tore de dundu karsum ge ranshin ya karsum sana godo shodan orma de ne jamsi ota de ge ranshin de ta tilan damid item damid so gyur khelan cakes again so you do biscuits in so you do ta dang san tene kera so ge tene ngaran so ina ice creams again so you do ta item tong ta chitang bumrang budwa da kera so pe so nam che ya ta tin ne jin je ge uni gi ge tene se tam je sing do ta tin je ge rik bundum ge rik la so bi gi sa cha ta tin je ge ri so gyo ne tene nang tin do yang kar chu tim phung gyo sa tin tim phung sa na mi ja chi mo se ngo de tong yong chu du ji la sa ta di se sa wa cham maim ba gi ti se savati tene se khala nywa de tong yongju de jila nywa tam je tol ru tara nala numba tam je tol ru ge la rak ba tam je tol ge tan de ya lor ge shena nyongju ge nyor ge sha ba ngam ma tene ngara tamsi ge dun ge ru ge to dang dang ta tin de ge de lor ge ring bu she ge re ti de ta zo lor ge shena ta ma go go re ngo de tong yongju de ji ge na ba kar sum so dang re o ta sa na ba ne kar sum ton du de ji ge se na nyongju tol ru ge ge ya da be nyongzhol dang tyochol dang dangzhol sige na sige rangshin yi namba karsum chodang rewo dang so namba ni tene karsum ngarsum tagi sige na sige tinje gi na ngarsum chagri dugyu timpung yo sa ta tso gya chembo par chang na shin rin na shin chembo ondor na ta namka kyawa tsam karchep tam chela tene dubi yon tam che kya dewa namka zo gi pa yon na na me sa namka zo se ka sepa mi ka sa ta ya tene pal da yon tene se ta funjul choba ni nujun do yunchopi gen do pe sa namkhadang ya batam chi giten tiya tene susure sa ma gon ren shen warta gonjo sishi indo da gombo yunding indo da ritu inji girig lancha den ren ta para bepa serna mepa tiam bope lulu ngala changma so ngala chungma so sege me bi ge tham chela yete shapchi ko de transson che gi gen ge bana chi ge de dron ge ba se de chogri mer she da na mi chobole desa ya mi chun sa gyula ya yagdung tene reception chi du kan yang ke bara tinja me ba tham chela chamnyim ge go ne chaba ko gi me ba che bore se tene om a hung se de kan tene mikpa ti gi tene chingi malab ge bar to om sa de om da nga om ni smi de lam zan del bu sha de om ta mikpa de yang de sa ma ta de om de ne om de chingi ge bi ge ta sho de ta de la yang san shu she ge ta te ge ta de che ne tene res ta an di o den ta wa ni ta ti so cha yo pe jung so ta ki ta zo yo wa de
So, in the space of Dharmata, the illusory manifestation of wisdom arises as oneself in the form of white Vajrayogini. So, one's awareness is manifest in the form of white Vajrayogini. One's consciousness has been shot out of the shot out into space and manifests in the form of white Vajrayogini, the goddess Yogini. And as this happens, one's consciousness is then left one's body and manifests corpse, and the corpse of our body.
Could you just repeat that? Sorry.
Sure. So our consciousness has been shot out of our body and taken manifest in the form of Vajrayogini, right?
Consciousness in the form of Bindu as well.
Yeah, first in the form of Bindu and then transforming into Vajrayogini.
Yeah, so what comes Bindu?
Tambo ugi tigri chik the kondra. Yo dipos ugi tigri the kado kang.
Karo number 7.
So white. So first we have visualized this small bindu of light. It's white in color, and this is shot out of our body, and then manifests as the.
I think a poor noise in a carburgo, Carla Markidanga, Palative, Karchata, Palat, Malti, of the Marchini to it, and Carmartan dance in a Carula Markidanga, of course.
And then manifests in the form of white Vajrayogini.
I think maybe just to clarify, so it says the bright awareness, but actually it's actually the essence of consciousness, which is the white bindu. That's what is projected out there.
Mm-hmm. So, as explained, if in the poor transference of consciousness practice, then we similarly visualize consciousness as as a small bindu of light. There it's explained that it's white with a tinge of red, white and red. The white comes from the father's semen, and the red comes from the mother's ovum. So here, consciousness is also visualized in the form of a bindu of light. It's white in color, but we can say white with a tinge of red. So this shoots out of our body, then takes a form of white Vajrayogini. So our body then collapses. It collapses unconscious. It becomes a corpse, and this corpse, we should imagine our corpse as being absolutely enormous, vast, immeasurably vast. It's shiny and huge and absolutely perfect in every way. Perfect in form, in smell, perfect in appearance, in smell, texture. Just utterly perfect in every way. Like I said, very, very attractive, sort of glowing and radiant, delicious, fragrant. That's how we should visualize our corpse, and also absolutely enormous. Our consciousness takes the form of white Vajrayogini. Our body is left as a corpse, which is enormous in size and perfect in appearance in every way. So white Vajrayogini holds a sword in her right hand. She holds up a sword in her right hand, and with this sword she chops up the corpse of our body, this enormous, perfect corpse. She chops it up into hundreds and thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of pieces, until the body is cut up so small that she cuts it up so finely and in so many times, all the way to reduce it to subatomic particles, the finest, most subtle, smallest kind of particle. We would say partless particle, or the kind of most subtle subatomic particles that, like they talk about in quantum physics. To that extent, white Vajrayogini chops up this enormous corpse of ours with the sword that she holds in her right hand. And again, so now our body, our corpse, which is a corpse of flesh and blood, but is chopped up finely, reduced to particles in this way. But although our body the corpse is a corpse of flesh and blood, we should nevertheless think that each particle of it is endowed with perfect form, smell, taste, texture, and sound. So, we could describe all of this in a lot of detail, but basically we should imagine that it's utterly perfect, and within the word utterly perfect, all of the other qualities are complete, right? Form, sound, and so on. She waves the wind banner with the left, so in her left hand she holds a wind banner, an absolutely enormous wind banner, like the size of Mount Meru, and waving this, she blows all of these tiny particles of our corpse, these perfect tiny particles of our corpse, into all directions. So blowing the particles of meat, blood, and bones in all directions. And again, these particles of our corpse, of meat, blood, and bones, nevertheless are endowed, replete with all five sense pleasures. form, sound, and so on. So with his wind banner, she blows all of these particles throughout all directions, above and below, in the 4 cardinal directions, the 8 intermediate directions, so that these particles are spread throughout the entire universe. They are spread to the very edge of the universe. There's not a single place in the universe where these particles are not blown, where they're not found. So, so therefore they're thoroughly pervading the apparent realm of the outer elements of earth, water, fire, and wind, and space. So essentially, wherever these outer elements of earth, water, fire, wind, and space, and wind exist, the particles of our corpse are present, because they've been blown that far, basically. So the particles of of this enormous corpse of ours, have been now spread throughout the entire universe. They permeate and pervade absolutely everywhere, the whole of the external apparent realm. They're permeated by white, red, and blue light rays. So all of these particles, refined particles of our body that fill the whole universe, are permeated by light rays of these 3 colours, and all of existence, the whole world, everything that exists, becomes a cloud of white desire objects. White desire objects, like the manifestations in the God realm, external manifestation. External manifestation is a name of one of the God realms, and this is perhaps the most luxurious, most luxurious and blissful God realm. The luxuries and pleasures of this God realm know
no bounds.
Thank you very much. They know no bounds. So our body is spread out and permeates the whole world, and is contains this pleasures and luxuries equal to the manifestations in the God's realm. Pleasures that know no bounds, and again pleasures of all the 5 sense pleasures, so form, sound, smell, taste, and texture. And when it says here, all existence becomes a cloud of white desire objects, this is referring to the 3 white substances, and the 3 whites and the 3 sweets. The 3 whites are milk, butter, and yogurt, and the 3 sweets are honey, molasses, and sugar. So, although our body is originally a body of flesh and blood, it has been blessed and consecrated to be of the nature of these 3 whites and 3 sweets, these pleasurable, delicious substances. So the substances themselves, as well as everything you can possibly make from them, like all of the cakes and pastries and amazing sweets that you have in this part of the world, right? You guys are very fortunate to have all these luxurious foods to eat. So you visualize the body taking all of these particles of your body, manifesting in these desirable, delicious foods made of the white substances, as well as, in addition to that, all sorts of fruits and delicious foods. In form such as, in essence, it is the elixir of bliss and emptiness, liberating by taste. So all of these, they liberate by taste. There's a lot to say actually about this phrase, liberating by taste. To really explain it, we'd have to talk about liberation upon taste, and probably tell stories about, to illustrate this point, such as liberation by tasting the flesh of a 7-birth Brahmin and so on. Also in the same vein, we could talk about liberation upon sight, liberation upon hearing, liberation upon touch. There are these different types of immediate liberation brought about. But all of these particles of our body that have been permeated throughout the world and appearing in these desirable ways, they liberate upon being tasted. So they're the elixir of bliss and emptiness that liberate upon being tasted. they appear in forms such as lakes, hills, and plains of the three white substances and mountains of the three sweets. So whole mountains, whole cliff faces, enormous lakes and oceans, vast hills and sweeping hills and vast open plains. A wafting cloud of desirables, the supreme glorious qualities of the treasury of space, increases the ornament of all desirable offerings of the universe and its contents. So this is how we visualize our corpse. All of the particles of our corpse, they are now spread throughout the entire world, manifesting in these different inexhaustible, utterly desirable ways, replete with all of the five sense pleasures. And again, when it says here, glorious qualities of the treasury of space, this means that they are simply inexhaustible. There's no end to them. They can never be finished. And all of the body is this offering of the body is visualized in this way and emanated out as an offering for all four guests, all of the four different types of guests to whom we will present this offering. That'll come a little later. But it's not the case that here we are preparing this offering sort of mostly for like the VIPs and then only giving a little bit to people of less importance, like, as things are often done in a worldly way, right? If you have a banquet, you give the best to, the most important guests, and maybe you only give a little to people of less importance. In this case, it's not like that. We are giving equally equal quality and quantity to all of the four types of guests with no discrimination whatsoever, so that all of them will feel equally, perfectly satisfied, utterly satiated, without any sense of stinginess or envy or competition. So to this extent, we are emanating and multiplying the offering of our body. So then we say Oma Hung. It says Oma Hung 3 times. But actually we repeat Oma Hung continuously until we've until we've performed this visualization. Oma Hung are syllables of mantra, and again there's so much we can say about this and other types of mantra and their function and so on. But Oma Hung is the supreme mantra for purifying and multiplying. So we repeat these 3 syllables many times. Usually in a ritual, people will just repeat these 3 syllables 3 times and then continue. But really, when you're practicing, you should repeat them again and again and again, while focusing on the visualization until you've really completed the visualization. Just as explained, you keep on saying Oma Hung and purifying and multiplying the visualization like that.
Ta DJ Kalazabajatini, Ta de la Kanging Pugo, Resta Darutine Tos, Daruja Waton, Dam, Doma, Kangling Temasum Pugo, the Kangling Pudikala, Kangling Tamaji Daru the Trula, Peshe Bangoyore, Tamawalana, Te Indicata, Kangling Tambuta, Niva Sumbas, the Kangling Tambut, the Drenji Tamjiga, Dadonchen, Penazona, Datani, Ponjo Sichin, Bobu and Dindo, Gerino Chinese, Rejunichi, Tam, Telata. Ni dene karji ki dene drenje ki yus dene tangwen ni dadong che ni pa de la de ing su che ta ko drenje tamje ne ta phebju ki de tragic chen tang ne ngara jene dang na na gari na shwe rong ge to ta pe na dene che yong yu sur phe yong dene kangling sum ba ki tu se tin ta se rang ge dene ko dren tamje rang su su gi ne su dene rang ge ndung gi dene dren tamje ta rang su su ge shu sa ka en de den ta ta phe su nya bi ge dene Kangling Sumbat Pukutiris. The Marzata Kangling Dandarula, shaking Mongoyer, they thought on down to Doshena, indeed, Namjur Japares, Mundine Gansesana, Patam, so Patambasandi, the name Dudjom Troma Sovala, the name Gansesana, then Dudjom Troma Zevi Nekausu, then Lugi Chager, the Chess, Darkens in Pongi, Daru to look at a Yazan Rugumara, when it's Daru to look at a rich counter Tadun on the Tendrigit and Drugu, could be in Zentam Japan, only a round chipu Koraba, Drugitere, you that dance on the Daru to look at Yazan Ataronta. Kembu Dazaram Kabima, Kenzo Daruto, Rishelato, Yabosho, they Tonson Nato, then a king, Game, Jimmy Gay, Jack, Gazanata, then the color. Ne Soro Yuri, something like Captain Nagazal. The only cannabis on the narrated. I in a two seconds to the chat Yuri, that the ring of the deer something like Bayamo, that did come as a Yamato. Timaton, the root of the Genergy in Yimareta. Then Darut and Chilus in the series and Darut and Chilu in the top the sheriff. Darut the tablet, Chilu the sheriff. The neck comes again the Kalas and Jumper, Rangara Tuntang and I think doing Nala Tumda, Karnalas of the Boretine, some just to do or Karanga Chug, that the Karanga Dugula, Dungula, so but in the Chedari. Ngamiana Gandita Tributara to get Ninchilla from Mujigu, said that Zutine, Tamjit, Chug Dubi, do down, that in the Timothy. And the Ganglings in the Nuggets to Moma, but some Nugget in a Jumbuki that, Tuna shitting around so. Don't do it, too much in that. The theatre, Gangling Tilata, Shepherd Mango, Gangling the top of the Shepherd Mango. Gondin Amshitona Shepa Mangoyer, the Tatso, Gangling the Jeris Avenger, Jumbure, Tinania, Gangling tea, Mirgangor, that Damsa rubber gangling, the Matata Tim Ketchova, Mirgang Nala, in a Pume, Put in a Kene, Nima Dunjik, Dunbatin, and also Nima Dunjik Nala Ama the Shisoina, Tea Gangling de la Bangans, Bangans, that the Migia, the Gunsenchirisana. 아마 데 부고들 차신 인간데 부고들 인제 다 부고들 류송 선비게 인지 숙성 보죠래 디 강능 이렇게 돼 자서나 오니건 전시 탐지데 뮤션 탑산 메 데인디 강능 자쇼데 되네 거라 para 듄지기나 아마시죠 강능 데 야쇼인서 같은데 강능 톱주까지 가버려 이나야 수저 똥스똥 톱거래 마도 먹으시고 톱주까지 가버려 가시 톱나야 섭다 둑도 패매도 가시 톱나야 톱주까지 가버 톱나야 같은데 fun좀 소바디 깔래 가버려 때 이나야 다 된데 톱바 이나 되네 강능 되게 다디 가래서는 돈도 보기부터 한제 제당 플라당 다전는 전시 탐지 보비게 다디 된데 강능 데 소든 준비래라 되네 딱 진진게 된 우리 강릉다 토바야로 되가 미닥 쳐와더랑 신다 당근 강릉다 필링 가가면 nhập선 지선 제 강릉다 토바 통다 미닥 쳐와 전바당 우리게 지 진진지 시고왔다 남독 시고왔다 장족 시고라서 파용이 개침부 강 오셔야 다 당상때 야라 열리 신 탐지 지 지선데 지제가 말까 우리 통나 강릉 통나 제 야가요 서로서로 레벨 호 서지 사가서 뭐도 신다시 요 말이스 돈다데 젠진세와다 남독세와다 장족시와다 오예 진짜게 되네 강림다 도박게 되네 우리 못다서 탐지 예와도 신다다 버래 진짜신 드링다 다다 도샤링스 탑시 민다 다랑 데마 게만 차르만 다랑 데마 줄하도 되네 칼라사니 주주 당고 차가지 니워전 당 니워전 되는 가지 당 중이 차가 레사서 된지 깡페지 당 니워 차가지 전에 인도 되네 주주 지기 대화 잡된 알아서 쨘레마야 오 진짜 빼마도 좀 뺏기냐 버려 거기야 뭐 저는 먼저 되네 담비 약지 당때 드링테 샤샤스
So with this section, with this chunk of liturgy, then we complete the second part of the feast, which is purifying and multiplying the offering, and we do that just as just explained. When we say Omahung here at the end of the liturgy, we do so while playing the bell and the damaru, and also. While we are chanting Omahung again and again, then you play the bell and the damaru and play them a little faster than usual, and also you blow the kangling, the thigh-bone trumpet, 3 times. There's with each blow of the trumpet has different meaning. So when you blow the kangling, the thigh-bone trumpet, the first time, you are informing calling the attention of the four guests who we are going to invite to the feast. The 4 guests are the objects, the recipients of the feast. And who are they? They are the guests of the objects of refuge. The guests who are the objects of refuge. Secondly, the guests who are the protected. How to say this? First type of guest are the objects of refuge. The second type of guests are the protectors endowed with qualities. Third type of guests are those with whom we have karmic debt, karmic creditors actually is the correct word. So the third type of guest are our karmic creditors, and fourth type of guests are all mother sentient beings who are the objects of compassion. So these comprise the four types of guests to whom we offer the feast. So when we blow the kangling the first time, we are calling the attention of these four types of guests and informing them that, hey, we're going to invite you. With the second blow of the kangling, then all of the four types of guests begin to prepare to come. Just like in a mundane situation, once you've invited someone, then they prepare. They get ready. Like prepare the car that they're going to come in, come to the party in. So like that. With the second blow, the guests actually make their preparations to come. And with the third blow of the trumpet, then you imagine that all of the four types of guests have actually arrived. They've actually come from their various places and locations, and they actually arrive before you and take their seat, take their respective seat before you. So maybe it's clearer to say with the first blow, we're actually making the invitation, informing the four guests, okay, we would like to invite you. With the second, then they prepare to come, and the third, they actually arrive. There's so much also that can be said and explained about the kangling and also about the damaru and the severance damaru and the bell. These are all like yogic attire that are part of a yogi's practitioner's conduct. They were used originally by Padampa Sangye when he was practicing engaging in yogic conduct in the 8 charnel grounds. He completely cast aside all samsaric concerns, all grasping to samsara and indeed nirvana, and casting all such self-cherishing and fixation aside, he went off to the charnel grounds and engaged in yogic practice there. So these instruments are attire that are associated with this kind of yogic practice. They're really actually not instruments to be played or in the city, in crowded areas, as they are often these days. They're really to be practiced and used in remote places like charnel grounds, where one has left all samsaric concerns and completely relinquished all clinging and gone off to practice. One of my teachers, Rinpoche Daoze, he used to bring this point up and really scold us and say, these things, the kangling and the severance spell and damaru, they're not the kind of things you should carry into town and play in town. They're to be played in remote places like charnel grounds, when you're really practicing. But these days, you all go into the city, and there you do severance rituals there. You play your damarus and blow the thigh-bone trumpet, and in the end, you end up, bringing about this chorus of dog barking and making women cry and creating havoc by playing these things in the city. This is really not how it should be done. He would kind of admonish us in this way. So actually, the environment we're in now, this is like the sutra, the kind of environment in which these instruments should be used. So this is a really good place for this practice. In short, the damaru is an expression of skillful means, and the bell is an expression of insight. And the kangling is, like I said, it's used to make invitation, to call the guests. So in the sutra context, then one would use a white conch or a gong to make this kind of invitation. The gong and conch are usually sounded in the sutra context as a invitation, calling all beings to come to a Dharma gathering, saying, if you want to listen to the Dharma, if you want to gather, then now is the time, something like that. So in the tantric context, correspondingly in the tantric context, we use a kangling, thigh-bone trumpet, to make this call out and invite the four guests. There's so much more that actually we can say about the kangling. It has many different levels of meaning and types of significance. Likewise with the skull cup, these are explained in texts like scriptures like the Gongpa Dupa, Gongdu Namshe, expertly by Jigme Lingpa. But anyway, the Kangling, just to say a few things, Kangling thigh bone trumpet should really be, it needs to be a human thigh bone. And the best kind of human thigh bone is the thigh bone of a mother who has died within 7 days of giving birth. The reason why this is the best kind of thigh bone trumpet is that when a mother dies just within 7 days of having given birth, she dies in a state of intense compassion for her child because of the intense love she has for her child and the worry of leaving her child alone. She's just given born to the child and now she's dying. So yeah, there's this intensity of compassion that then is kind of permeates the thigh bone. So if you use a thigh bone that's come from a mother who's died in this way, then the power of the compassion is such that when you blow it, the guests to whom you are calling, they have no chance but to listen to your invitation and come because of the power of the compassion. So that's the best type of kangling you can possibly have. Of course, it's difficult to get large numbers of these. Even if you can get a thigh bone of a mother who's died within 7 days of giving birth, it might not have all the other qualities needed. Like it might look bad or might not be the right shape. So there are other qualities as well that are needed. But in any case, the meaning of the kangling, the significance is that we use it to call guests. So it's used to make invitation to the guests. It's also both the kangling and the skull cups are used to cut through our clinging and to bring a halt to kind of wake us up from a stream of conceptual thought. They're intended also as a stark reminder of impermanence and death, and also as to help release our attachment to clean and dirty and our fixation. But that's the intention of them, but often these days they don't really perform that function because we become so used to being around them, right? Maybe the first time you see these sorts of things, a human thigh bone and a human skull, it might wake you up a bit. But once you become used to them, like most of us are just so used to seeing them that we don't think twice when we see them, right? But actually, in actual fact, they're intended as also as a reminder of impermanence and death to help us cut through our grasping to the self and grasping to reality and permanence. That's it. So now we'll stop here. It's a little late for lunch. We'll stop here, and because we've run over time, let's come back at 2:30, not 2, and I'll teach for another hour. So we'll start at 2:30. I'll teach for 1 hour, and then we'll do the practice together. So if you practice severance, having received an explanation of it, and so that you have some real understanding of what it's about, then when you practice it, your experience will be quite different. Otherwise, if you don't receive any explanation and of the meaning of severance and you just jump into the ritual, it's no different really from just playing music, right? Like a musical performance. So it's for this reason that I'm trying my best to give you guys a thorough explanation, a good thorough explanation of the meaning of severance, so that actually when you engage in the practice, it will be more meaningful. So now please, let's all dedicate together the merit and virtue accrued through this teaching session.